Welcome to Conversations with Karen and Kat. I'm Karen Scott Green.
And I'm Kat Hardrick, and we're here at the fabulous The Aftertaste Smokehouse and Grill with Miss Michelle and her husband, Chef Adams. Thank you for having us here today.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about where you're located and what this fabulous food we have before us today.
Yes, hi. So my name is Michelle Morgan Adams, and my husband is Chef Segundo Adams. We are the co-owners of the Aftertaste Smokehouse and Grill. And so today we have 2 veggie plates that consist of all of our sides, comfort foods, and flavorful seasonings.
Yeah, I love it. I've been here before, and the food is delicious. And we are this is Lawrenceville, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what's your address?
706 Grayson Highway, Suite 212, and it's Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Okay, and do you do anything else? Do you cater or?
Yes, we offer corporate catering. We offer wedding catering, formal events, any type of special events, and any type of in-house events we can accommodate. So I'm also an event planner, so we would love to put something together for your viewers.
Yeah, and can I just say that I am vegan, and I appreciate, Chef, that the vegetables were not cooked with meat. Therefore, I can partake.
Right.
Because, we love soul food, but one of the things historically, we're used to cooking with meat to flavor the vegetables. So I appreciate that I got some greens, and they're good. Some sweet potato fries and some fried corn.
That's right.
And she even accommodated me on the corn and didn't put butter on it. So I appreciate that.
Yes. That's right. And I have my greens, cabbage, mac and cheese, and some potato salad. So awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you. Hi. Welcome to today's episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat. I'm Karen Scott Green.
And I'm Kat Hardrick.
And we're here today with our very good friend, Chad Livsey.
Yay!
And Chad is a legend in Gwinnett County.
That's right.
So we both met Chad in Snellville. His name, if you live in Gwinnett County, and particularly if you live in you've seen his name on plenty of roads.
That's right.
His name is outside of my subdivision for the Chad Livsey Project.
That's right.
And he is also the founder and director of Come Clean Gwinnett and Come Clean Atlanta.
Yep.
So we're going to let Chad tell you what those projects are about and what he does.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. This is an amazing place, actually, so I'm going to come back, bring the family. But Come Clean Gwinnett is, it actually started by just efforts around the Promised Land, like you said. Just seeing that people were moving in and kind of trashing the whole area and didn't really have the connection that I do with the land. And so I actually moved back here 6 years ago from New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
What part of New York?
I was in Manhattan.
Wow,
I lived
bougie.
in at first.
Bougie.
Then broke up with my ex-fiance, and then I had to move to the non-bougie part.
Okay.
So I was in New York, but came back home and just started cleaning up streets. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And so, go ahead. So, for those who aren't aware, tell us what the Promised Land community is.
I was just about to ask.
Okay, I have to, because that's where I'm from. That's where I'm born and raised. The Promised Land is it's a place that my great grandfather bought 110 acres in 1920. In collaboration with other black families. This is what I'm learning now, with the Anderson family, with Lucas family, Blackmans, just historic black families in the area. They came together and bought this land that was actually a part of the Civil War. Sherman came through and burned the town. And after the war, my great-grandfather was able to buy the land. So when he passed on, it was split up amongst the family. So the 13 kids got portion of the 110 acres.
Wow.
So it's all family. It's like a village.
Yeah, nobody really talks about ownership, blacks owning that type of land. How many acres did you say?
It was 110 acres.
Wow, that's a lot.
So of the original 110 acres, how many acres are still in the family?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, because there's still families with lots that they own they own the houses.
Okay.
My aunt lives there, cousins. My grandfather has about probably 16 acres.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So it's still close.
It's still in the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
For the most part.
for those of you who've been over in that area, off of 124, south of Minks Livsey, Promised Land area, you've seen several roads. Anderson Livsey, Minks Livsey, that's his family.
Now, is Minks Livsey part of the Livsey?
He definitely, he came from England though, so that's why I have this nose. Because I'm about half white. You know? So so he was a part of the white Livsey family. Like around Lenore Park was Livsey. It's a lot of the streets are called Livsey, because it was a part of the family land, and that was the white family land.
Wow.
Because we can trace our name back to 1776. So we've been here over 200 years, and we can trace our family back to Sandy Livsey, who was a lot of people believe he was hung, lynched. So we're trying to get that history out too.
Yeah. And there's been some DNA connection between the white Livseys and the black Livseys of that area. Because I remember seeing an article. Has to be more than 10 years now, featuring your grandfather and the other Livsey side.
We still have a reunion.
He always knew.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we don't have to clean up afterwards. It's, but we all
Wrong for that.
we all help. But it's punctual, it's on time, and it's over real quick. But no, we still get together, So it's
This guy.
it's still weird. It's still weird, but we still
You
we're
came
still
back
family.
6 years ago, and you saw the need for cleaning up the area, and you jumped in. How did you get reluctance? How did you get your name on all the roads? Chad Livsey Project.
I had to ask my grandfather because he had his name before me. He had his name. He was doing it before Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful, before with no support. So I asked him, and he was like, "You gotta go to get out." I'm like, "Why are you screaming at me? I'm just trying to clean up."
What did he say?
I heard Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful. I'm like, okay, so let me look them up, and then I went to them and adopted Toledo. That was my first street, and then I adopted High Point Road because I took all the streets that were terrible.
Right.
It was like 40 bags of litter each time I cleaned up. I mean, you can go look at 6 years ago. Now there's no litter. I don't have to clean up on South Rockbridge, which I adopted because I was doing 40 plus bags.
Wow. And how
Just
many
by
people
myself.
did you have? Yeah.
Just myself.
Wow. And
So
now
I got arthritis now. My back hurts.
You
my
do
feet.
not.
Yeah. So the weed is for my back now. But I'm just. But I've done a lot of work. Yeah. Legalize Gwinnett.
And so you're not doing it by yourself. How do you get volunteers?
Just people that are crazy enough to want to come out and help, like yourself and your husband.
I picked up trash.
Neighbors,
Right.
just passionate people that didn't know they had power to do it.
Right.
We created. I was the inspiration for Snellville Clean and Proud.
Okay.
I had a meeting with Dave Emanuel before it was created, so
Right.
it's just about getting out there, letting people know they can clean up their own street.
Absolutely. And I've
have to wait
also
for
seen
anybody.
you at the Yellow River Trash Bash too. Is that part of? Is that part of your project?
We are very close.
Okay.
Mark Wilson is one of the administrators of Come Clean Gwinnett.
Okay.
And he's also part of Yellow River.
Okay. All right.
That's real good.
Yeah. So because I did it last year, and there were Sigmas out there. There were
They were like, can you take a group of black people? I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah.
So there were Sigmas, there were other Greek organizations out there as well. There were students who were getting community service hours from school. So it was a really good turnout. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's coming up now.
A lot of people are starting to do that all over the place, right? So you help people get community hours.
Oh yeah, yeah. From the Beta Club, we partnered with South Gwinnett Beta Club, and we cleaned up High Point Road a couple times. Actually.
Okay.
So I got to reach out to them again because it's that time now.
Right.
You know.
At Shiloh High School?
South Gwinnett. On High Point, it's just a stretch of road that just gets trashed.
Overlooked.
You know.
Yeah.
So Shiloh has a Beta Club too.
Yeah, I want to connect to all of them. I want to connect to all of them.
Some of us just like Shiloh a little bit more.
Well,
I'm a South girl, I'm a Comet, but
But see, growing up for us, it was a matter of growing up on one side of the street.
Oh, really?
I went to South because I was on Lee Road. My uncle went to Shiloh because he was on the other side of the road. They split us right down the road. So.
Now, when we first moved to the area, my oldest son went to South Gwinnett.
Okay.
And then by the time we had the younger kids, our neighborhood was zoned for Shiloh.
Shiloh.
So literally, like the subdivision right past us is like the boundary for Shiloh, and everybody above that is going to South Gwinnett.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But enough of that. We digress. We digress a lot.
Right.
That could go. Yeah.
How do you get your funding? How can people come out and help?
We get our funding, actually, most of our funding comes from our own business.
Okay.
We have delightful vending. We have accounts all around Atlanta with the Atlanta Braves. We just go in the streets. They call me Snack King Cole. So I'm just going, putting snacks, in vending machines in different places. My wife teaches people how to create their own vending empire. So
your lovely wife, she's so sweet. How's the baby?
Yeah, they're great. They're great. I had them most of the day. Now she's got them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we would be remiss if we don't talk about family because, we know that you don't do this by yourself.
That's right.
So you are married and your wife's name is?
Kendra. Kendra Mays Livsey.
And you have beautiful daughters.
Thank you.
And they are how old now?
I'm about to be 1, actually.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, birthday's coming up. 1 and 2.
Okay.
And I have a son, he's 12 now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I've only seen the baby. I've only seen the little one. And so how do you juggle being hands-on dad, doing everything that you do? So you have a vending business. You are involved in the community. Every time I was out at an event, I would see Chad when I was running.
Doing the promised land.
So you're doing it. How do you juggle all of that?
Because there's no competition, really. I mean, if you're out doing something,
that's right.
Nobody, people aren't doing what they should. So with the trash, I mean, it was just. I was walking the bus stops in New York, and I'm just used to walking. So for me, it's like just pick up the trash. So now I manage it by my first job is watching my kids. That's what I do. And then if I have 2 hours, I go clean up the street.
Right.
Or I can, we do Sunday service now, like you said, we just pick a day and, try to promote, try to get people out, but it's not easy.
And your next Sunday service is on the 7th, so.
Oh yeah, on the 7th, Edgewood, in Atlanta. We cleaned the area before. It was just a really, I talk to homeless people. We're really in the streets.
Yeah.
We're really in the streets. I wish more politicians would come out, take off the suits and the
put on the jeans, and the what do you call them? The boots, put on the rubbers.
And
come out.
Put your time and your talent, and your treasures behind doing the work You know, we need people to make legislation, but we also need people in the street to do the work
to roll
for
up
the people.
Absolutely.
Like sometimes it sounds like you put more profit and maybe personal interest over what really counts is humanity, right? Our people in our community. So I totally agree, and I applaud you for what you're doing, because it's not easy. You know, literally going out here picking up trash. It's hot, it's raining, and you're doing what you do. So.
No, it's not. You know, sometimes I don't know why. You know, I'm doing it. I'm just.
That's your calling.
You know, but it's my mission.
That's your
purpose,
calling, and we need that. So, how are things with you being in Gwinnett? How have things been with you navigating, getting support, funding, and things of that sort?
It's been difficult. Mm-hmm. You know, we get a lot of, I don't know if it's just my family or just what we get told is just like, you know, hold on, everything's coming, economic development's coming, you know, just wait, just be patient, you know, and that's something I've seen a lot in history, you know, but so funding is something that we're now ready for, you know, we have a nonprofit status, so.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, yes, yes, definitely. So we're ready for grants, ready to have crews, people that need community service hours, students, you know, people that make mistakes. We have a gentleman that he stole from we have a snack bar in Buckhead, so he went in one night, took some beer and some wine, you know, and instead of getting him arrested or anything like that, I told him, just come clean some streets with us.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's real good.
So
that's some restorative justice.
That's right, and we just talked about that.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. Now it's like, now he's talking to homeless people. He sees how I interact with everyone. He knows this is a white guy. This is a big, tall white guy. So I'm taking him to the blackest parts of Atlanta, you know, to let him know you could have been arrested.
Yeah, right.
But you weren't. You met the right black person.
That was great.
You met the right person.
Right.
That was great.
That's the right human being.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you said you're 501c3. You have a 501c3 status. So, do you accept donations as well?
We accept donations.
Okay.
We accept trash bags, gloves, vests.
Right.
You know, we're running low on bags. We had like 500, but that's not a lot.
Right.
You know,
how can people make those donations? Where do they
can go to the Chad Livsey Project, chadlivseyproject.com. You can go to Chad Livsey Project on Facebook. We have PayPal, you know. Cash App. Yeah.
And is that the same place people can go to sign up to volunteer?
Definitely. Yeah, you can just go to Chad Livsey Project. You can send us an email, and then, or just go. You know, Facebook is easy. Yeah. For us. But.
So you're on Facebook as what?
Well, we have Facebook as Come Clean Atlanta, Come Clean Gwinnett, and the Chad Livsey Project.
Okay. So all three, that comes to you?
That comes to us, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
How strong is your team? Like, how big are your volunteer pool, your staff? Do you have a constant 10 or 15 people or 2 or 3 people? I know it kind of fluctuates.
It fluctuates. I mean, we've had some cleanups that was like 60 people, you know, then, you know, cleanups when it's me, you know, and for me, it doesn't matter, because I'm gonna do what I'm here to do. So, but now we're getting people that have community service hours. So I can create a cleanup, and we get 3 people together, and we can go clean up any street anywhere in Atlanta.
I think that'll be so good too, to help, especially young people, to see what it takes for each and every person to pour into their community. You don't have to wait until trash day or whatever. You see something in your community, you just go ahead and pick it up. And then first of all, let's not throw it down in the first place.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
You know, but you're at the promised land. You have Juneteenth that just passed. You have farmers markets out there. I want you to tell the story about the house, the land that no longer belongs to the Livsey family, if you don't mind, and how that came about.
Oh man, yeah, I think it was close to when I moved back home. It was like 6 years ago. I had a friend call me. He was like, yeah, man, the big house sold. And the big house was a place that all of our family went to. That's where we grew up. That's where some of us were conceived. It was a place during the Civil War that never got burned down by Sherman's troops.
Wow.
And that's why the historical importance of that house is so important. And, so I found out just through a friend, and it really, it hurt. But now I see, like, if it's done right, it can be a great thing for the family, for our history, and for the future.
Right. So the house was purchased by the Gwinnett Historical Society?
Yes. For $160,000+.
Okay.
There was like 16 people involved.
Was that a fair market price at the time? Or? No.
See, no. I think it was no. They used splash money just to buy the house, and everybody got enough for a jet ski, And then
sorry,
so
you made me laugh. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, because I know, I used to valet, and I valeted in Atlanta, and I had a lady that worked for the Atlanta History Center. We just started talking one day, and I told her where I'm from, and she was like, "Oh, let me go back and look that up." And then she found it, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, the papers from the journal from the man from the plantation that you're from is in the Atlanta History Center. It's in the library." I said, "Wait a minute, what?" So, and then after a few conversations, they told her to stop talking to me.
What?
And it's just a lot of. It's been a lot of almost whitewashing.
Wow. So will the house be on the National Historic Register?
I want it to be. I want it to be a National Historic Site because it is part of the Civil War. So that has to deal with the makings of this country.
That's right.
Or the breakings of this country. It should be national because it is bigger than Gwinnett.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are bigger than Gwinnett.
Yeah,
so
that's right. It's history.
Oh, it's history.
It's facts.
Was anyone living in the house when it was sold?
We had some cousins that were in the house, but it was nobody really living in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow, but it still was owned.
It was owned by
your family.
Owned by the family.
Occupied or not?
I think it. Yeah, I think it. Like, it could have. It can still be a great opportunity.
Right.
Between government and family that has been shunned, had to go learn, had to build their own schools, first of all. We built our own schools. The new Bethel school was before the church.
Where the white building is, the older white building.
No, even before, the cell phone tower is?
Yes.
That's where the school was.
Wow.
They took that land in intimate domain. It was a Collins Inn. There was some illegal activity. They took the land and put a cell phone tower on top of it.
Okay.
And that's where the school was. So, that's the truth of what we had to go through. And they're like, it could be made better. I feel like, my grandfather, he had to stop going to school in 9th grade because he had to walk 7 miles to go to school in DeKalb County because Gwinnett stopped schooling black children after a certain point.
Because they wanted you to be farm hands.
Right.
So same thing happened with my father. My father was born in 1930. Was raised in Jackson County, Florida. And Jackson County at the time didn't have high schools for Negroes.
What?
He had to go live with his aunt in Panama City, a couple of counties over, to be able to go to high school. But because they didn't have any high schools in the entire county for blacks, because you were expected that you were going to help out on, you're going to be a field hand, you're going to help out. So there was no need to educate you past
a certain grade. Yeah, because at that point you're going to be a field hand.
before he went to Panama City, he actually went to Edward Waters College. It wasn't college then, but it was a high school in Jacksonville. It's now a university. But he went there, and the story is he called my grandfather that same night to come pick him up. He was like,
you gotta come get me.
So, and then he came back home, and then they sent him to Panama City. But that was not an uncommon phenomenon in rural areas. You know, it was not.
And so you have an elementary school, the church, and now since you spoke about farming, what's some new things coming down the pipe for you?
We're pretty excited. We're gonna, the area was a farm. We were sharecroppers. We had bees. My great grandfather
made your own honey.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely. My great grandfather made his own charcoal that we used to sell back and forth to Atlanta. Wood, lumber. So now we're gonna create a farm again.
Oh wow!
That's gonna be so nice.
What are some of the things you intend to grow on the farm?
Mushrooms, actually.
Okay. The magic
avocados.
kind, or
avocados?
Hey.
Your back hurt,
my back hurt. But no, edible kind. For dinner.
I need to be able to find a good oyster mushroom. Can you grow some oyster mushrooms, please?
I think we are.
Okay.
I got to talk to the farmer. I'm not the farmer.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, thinking about the mindset.
Put the word in.
I'll put the word in.
It's so hard for me to find oyster mushrooms.
Okay. Yeah. No, we want to have all that pineapples.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna grow pineapples in Snellville, Georgia?
Yes.
I'm gonna see this.
Right.
Oh yeah. She's got 12 pineapple trees already.
Really?
Ready to go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. How many acres are you gonna be farming on?
At least 2.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to. So now, will you have your own? Do you anticipate having your own farmers market, or will you coordinate with some of the other farmer markets that are going on?
You already have farmers markets, huh?
Oh yeah, we do. We want to have them more frequently. So right now it's just my wife and I, and so we have a couple events a year, and then that's what we can handle. But when we have a farm, definitely we're gonna have produce coming through.
Okay.
I know who's going to be coming there all the time.
That girl, I would do that. I would definitely do that.
Absolutely.
I wanted you to talk a little bit about, you reopened Cheryl Lake on your grandfather's property. Could you talk a little bit about that and some of the events that you've hosted since you reopened it?
Sure. Yeah. It was. It's been a part of the family. People used to get baptized there. We actually used to grow cotton on the lake area, the family, and then my grandfather knew to make it into a pond, basically. So it was just sitting there. It's been for family reunions and things like that, but we didn't really have a bathroom area, so we had to get community support. We renovated the bathroom area so we can't have events, and I had to get porta potties all the time. And it's beautiful. It's 7 acres, and we're gonna have more events. There's a bike show that we're talking about.
Really?
Yeah, New Year's Eve.
Like
New Year's Eve bike.
Motorcycle, Not my tricycle.
No, I'm talking about hard. Yeah. Bikers. Black bikers.
Yeah, Nikes. Get out of
fireworks.
Here. Ninjas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we had the biggest fireworks show in Gwinnett County. Because we met a fireworks lady, and it was.
I'm usually out of town.
For Juneteenth.
Juneteenth was nice.
Juneteenth. Yeah, we had an amazing fireworks show.
So you've done Juneteenth. You've had back to school events.
Back to school with the AKAs, Derek Wilson over the chamber, Eastside Chamber, and
Okay. Yeah. Anything planned? Anything you've got in the works that's coming up at Cheryl Lake?
We're looking at a fall event too.
Okay.
So where kids can ride around,
Stay tuned.
Things like that.
And so the events at Cheryl Lake, they can find out about at thepromisedland.com.
They can go to the Promised Land Market,
Promised Land Market,
or just go to the Chad Livsey Project.
Okay.
There's no website. There's nothing for it. So it's a lot coming.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure.
It's only known to certain people in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because it's a stocked pond, and at one point.
Oh yeah, there's fish, there's bass, crappie.
Okay.
We just put an RV there, so we're a couple of weeks away from getting the RV rented. So it'll be tourism, and then we'll have more exposure, more awareness.
I love it. I love it.
Lots of stuff happening on the property.
Good things happen.
I love it. Well, my neighborhood is not, I guess it's the promised land area, and I love living over there.
Yeah.
We could probably afford to live someplace else, but I love my community.
That's right.
And we raised our kids here. My middle son just graduated high school. I have an 11th grader, and I love the close-knit feel of the community,
And you shouldn't have to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to fight. You have to fight.
Exactly.
Because, you just have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you care about where you live.
That's right. Because what always amazes me is, my kids go to Shiloh. I don't make no.
Where they go?
Shiloh. That's right. They went to Shiloh Middle and Shiloh High School. And my youngest one went to Anderson Livsey.
Okay.
But folks will always, I've had folks who've had negative things to say about Shiloh High School whose kids don't attend there, and they've never attended there.
That's it.
And, my thought is, if I'm going to complain about it, I need to be part of the solution rather than complain about it.
Right.
So for those parents who are complaining about the schools, are you in the schools?
Right.
Are you involved in the PTA? Are you involved in any of the parent
And your
support
kids
groups?
don't have to go to school to be a part of the PTA.
This is true.
And the parent or not, because you have people complaining it's not even parents. Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You think the neighborhood is dirty or trashy, you will get up and help clean.
Yes.
Right.
You can do something.
Your time, your talent, and your treasures. Do something. Use it
serve.
for something positive instead of complaining.
Yeah. So I love and appreciate the work that you're doing in the community, not just in Promised Land, but throughout Gwinnett, and then you're also in DeKalb and in Atlanta.
Thank you.
So I appreciate
No, thanks
that.
for coming out. And, you've supported Kat. You've always been a supporter. So we're appreciative. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But that's what our intent with this show is, to highlight folks like yourself who are in the community, who are doing the work. Because we can talk the talk, but unless you're out there on the side of the road, unless you're in the schools, unless you're working with the kids, in the streets, unless you're, working with young people, working with people who are coming out of prison, unless you're, doing something to make somebody's life a little bit better, you're nothing but noise.
Amen.
I agree.
You're nothing but noise.
That's right. You said it perfectly, sister.
That's my 5 cents for today.
That's right. But you said
because of inflation, it used to be 2 cents. But
I like that. Yeah, no, that's good.
That's what you get on this show, right?
A nickel.
So that's right. I don't want to miss the opportunity.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want the viewers to be aware of that's coming up, that you're working on, that you need anything for?
That's right.
Donations, bodies,
bags.
We need
Not
all
together like that.
no bag bodies, but bags, support, awareness, grants, funding, definitely. I mean, I really feel like if we have the right resources, we can go out and clean up Atlanta and Gwinnett and Georgia. Yes. It's no big deal. It's just a couple hours a day I can clean up the street. So, I mean, if I don't get any of that, it will still be me, and it will still be, I'll still do what I can. But we're ready to make a bigger impact. So
love it.
We thank you, brother.
Thank you
for everything that you're doing. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Yes. And with that, we have concluded this episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat,
where we are impacting the world one conversation at a time.
Thank you. welcome to another episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat. I'm Karen Scott Green.
And I'm Kat Hardrick, and we're here with the fabulous Mrs. Cheryl with
Livsey Restaurant.
Yes, in the city of Lawrenceville. Thank you so much for having us today.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Awesome.
First, before we start, where are we exactly located?
Well, Livsey Restaurant and Event Space is located in the beautiful Lawrenceville. It's 706 Grayson Highway in the city of Lawrenceville.
Yes, we are in the city, and look at all this fabulous food.
And so, what are your hours for Event Space and the restaurant?
Okay, well, we're open Monday through Friday from 12 noon till around 7:30-ish. And our events are usually on weekends.
Okay.
So we have your Saturdays and Sundays planned for your events. So if you want to eat, you must call. Sometimes it's better to call with our limited staff.
Okay.
It's important to call and place your order. And you can find our menu on our website.
Okay.
Yes.
And what's your website?
Our website is www.legommier, that's LEGOMIER.com.
And this is Caribbean cuisine.
Absolutely. Authentic Caribbean cuisine.
Right.
Yes.
Specific to St. Lucia.
See, I didn't know that. Because I'm ready to dig in. I've got steamed vegetables, and vegetable roti, and plantains, and rice and peas.
Yes.
Because I said it right. Rice and peas, not peas and rice.
Not peas and rice. Okay. We were educated today, right?
And Kat, what do you have?
My famous curry chicken. I
yes.
love this, right? So the first time I had it, I ordered it to go, and she showed it to me. And let's just say it never left the building, right?
A sample became a meal.
That's right. That's right.
It looks delicious.
Yeah. So thank you so very much. And tell everybody one more time your location.
We are located at 706 Grayson Highway in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Suite 208. So you can order catering from us, or you could stop by for a meal. It's my pleasure to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome back. We are here today with Councilwoman Marlene Taylor-Crawford of Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you so
us.
much for being here today. Thank you.
Well, first we would be remiss if we did not congratulate you on being the first woman of color.
Actually, I'm not.
You are not the first?
I'm the second. Victoria Jones.
I thought you were the first.
So she was appointed.
Okay.
She finished out the term for council member Tony Powell, and then she ran for office in 2019. She ran unopposed, but I'm the first African American woman to run with opposition.
Gotcha.
So you
want to contest it.
Right, exactly. So you can say that, but not the first.
That's right. It is.
So I'm very honored.
And we're saying congratulations to that, right?
Absolutely. And so you've been in Lawrenceville and in Gwinnett, active and on the ground, working for quite some time.
I have been. I'm very thankful.
And so you have the heart of a servant, because you have been active with the United Ebony Society. You're an educator. We love teachers. We love teachers. And you were president of the United Ebony Society for how many years?
10 years.
10 years. And for those who don't know, the United Ebony Society is a community-based organization that brings cultural awareness to Gwinnett County.
Educating the community. We host the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Day Parade, and also the Black History Month celebration at the courthouse, also a Juneteenth celebration. We were actually the first organization to host a Juneteenth celebration in Gwinnett County. And we have host political forums, but I would be remiss if I did not mention the late co-founders of the United Ebony Society, Robbie Susan Moore and Erin Moore, who were my mentors. Who I met in about 2000 at Christ the King Baptist Church in Tequila.
I remember.
So those are names that people in Gwinnett are very familiar with.
Very familiar with.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit more about your background, because I met you, or my children had you at WC Grit.
Yes, and I was the school counselor there.
Yeah.
And that was actually the second school that I worked at in Gwinnett County. So if I can just back up a little bit.
Yes.
And so when I came to Georgia in 1999, I actually came from the New York City public school system.
Okay.
I was a school counselor there. When I came to Georgia in 99, I worked first in DeKalb County for 1 year. Then I came to Gwinnett County working as a special education teacher. And then in about 2002, that's when I went to Britt Elementary to work as the school counselor. And I was actually, and that's in Snellville for people who don't know. And I was actually there for 12 years. And at one point, I was the only counselor for about 5 years. Yeah, so I love the experience working at Britt Elementary. For all the schools that I have worked at.
That's something.
But I've worked at Britt the longest in Gwinnett.
I moved here the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, from Chicago. Get out of here.
I know,
right. Yeah. And when I ran into you again, I was telling my kids, and my son was like, Miss Marlene Taylor-Crawford, the one with the lines. You know, and it was really good for the kids to see someone who looked like them, who had natural hair, and just someone that they can connect to, and very approachable. And for my son to remember, like, all those years back, I mean, his first name, Miss Marlene Taylor. You know,
when I see students who are in college or graduated from college, and they're just out working, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so old. But it's so nice.
Day over 30.
But it's so nice when they remember me. Definitely. That's what it's all about.
That's right. Yeah, so
students remember the teachers and educators that make impact.
That's right. Very easy to do, right? Because you guys had a lot of hard work.
Absolutely. And when I was at Discovery High School, I worked as a career academy coach, meaning that I worked mainly in the community, bringing in the business partners to work with the students. And then I was also the career academy specialist, and I worked with students on their post-secondary plans. So about 3 weeks ago, I saw a student, and she was like, Miss Taylor-Crawford, I'm going to Howard University.
Oh, nice.
And she said, you were the one who motivated me to go to HBCU. That just meant so much to me.
I know it did.
So definitely, as an educator, we definitely touch the future. So it's just, it's very rewarding.
That's right. We've been doing a lot of conversation about stopping the school to prison pipeline. You know, and a lot of the work you've done, just hearing that, you know, you're making sure a person goes from K through 12 and now they're going on to college, you know, that it can be done, and a lot of impact that you don't even realize you do, just pouring into these kids.
Absolutely. You know? So when people would ask me, well, how was it going from elementary to high school? And I say, well, those are my little ones that just grew up a little old.
Right.
But I love both levels. I've worked in with middle school students, however, not within the school system, more like after school programs. But I would definitely work on all levels. I love children of all ages.
Yes, that's good. It shows.
So I do know that because I was at the soil.
This food is so good.
I know, right? Look, I'm trying not to eat too much.
I was at the soil dedication last summer, and I saw that you were part of the Gwinnett Historical Society. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you got involved?
So that is the Gwinnett Historical Restoration and Preservation Board. And I was actually appointed, in order to be a board member, you have to be appointed by one of the commissioners. And I was appointed by Commissioner Marlene to serve, because she knows my passion for education and history. So I'm very honored that she gave me the opportunity to serve. And last year I was the chairwoman of the board, and we partnered with the Gwinnett Remembrance Coalition, and they also partnered with the Equal Justice Initiative in order to have the soil collection ceremony to honor the life of Mr. Charles Hale, who was lynched downtown Lawrenceville on the square. A lot of people do not know
that actually happened.
Exactly. And then after that, a few months after, actually on MLK Day or Dr. King Day, we actually had the marker installation. So if you were to go downtown Lawrenceville on Perry Street and Pike, you will see the marker there.
Perry and Pike.
Yes, right there, right by the old historical courthouse.
I have to look for that.
Yes.
Yeah. So we always have to ask, what was your why for running for office?
Okay.
You've got all this background of community service, and being a servant to the community. What led you to transition to running for public office?
So my two loves have always been education and community service, and I'm so thankful that I was able throughout my life to bridge the two together. So running for public office was just an expansion of the work that I was doing already in the community. And I saw such a great need. And first of all, I love living in the city of Lawrenceville. And I saw great needs. And one of the needs that I wanted to address was the disparities that I saw between people who live in the city of Lawrenceville and they have certain things, and other people who live in the city of Lawrenceville are going through things and their voice is not being heard and not being represented. So people encouraged me for years, well, why don't you run for office? But everything is in timing. And I was like, well,
everything has its season. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I thank God that the time was in 2021 to run. And for me, it was just another way. It is another way to serve the community.
That's right. That's right.
So it was definitely a natural transition for me. So it wasn't like, okay, well, what do I do now? This and that. Of course, there's a learning curve, but at the same time, I had the skills in terms of being engaged with, knowing how to engage with the community, knowing community members. Of course, I don't know everyone. I'm meeting people, but definitely I have grown to know and love people in the community and see the needs. So for me, it wasn't very difficult to make the transition.
It definitely seems like it was very easy to transition in that. And I'm not saying your job is easy, but what I'm saying is being an educator, dealing with parents and family members, whether, like my family isn't a traditional mom and dad. My parents passed by the time I was 5, so I had, the village, right?
Yes.
And so you have to deal with, grandparents or guardians or foster parents,
absolutely,
and different personalities, and the whole plethora of children and cousins. But you have to learn how to communicate. But that also puts you in the forefront of the community. And so now that you're out here serving, now you know how to talk. Because I feel like sometimes people don't know how to talk to us.
Exactly. And as a school counselor, period, you better know how to talk.
Right.
And not just talk, but listen. Listen to understand, not to respond.
Right.
And to be judgmental, but to understand. And of course, you have to have empathy for people. So if you do not have empathy, this is not the type of work.
And people will see it. They will see it. They will sense it. And they won't engage, because they'll, she's another politician.
Exactly.
He's another politician. They just came around here to get my vote. And so people will sense it if you're not genuine. And so when you're genuine, that will flow through. And with saying that, how have you found community engagement since you've been on the other side? Now that you're
we so there, girl.
So I love community engagement. That was actually one of the platforms that I ran on, transparency, community engagement, and access. So if people don't feel like they are engaged in the community, they feel like they do not have a sense of belonging, and they do not feel vested in the community. So to me, that's very fundamental, to be able to engage in the community and let people know that I am approachable, I'm accessible, and I understand a lot of things that you're going through, especially not just as a school counselor from my experience working with families, but also from my own personal experience. So it's not like I'm so far removed from these things that I'm hearing. So I feel that I'm very relatable, and I definitely want to do my best to help. So if you are going to run for public office, you have to have empathy, running for the right reason, you want to help, and you're willing to do the work, because it takes a lot of hours, a lot of times. It's time. It's not like, okay, it's 5 o'clock now, my work is done. No, so I receive phone calls quite late, emails, but that's part of the work that I do. But most of all, I love meeting in the community, going out, meeting with people, and just having those conversations. And sometimes they are difficult because sometimes people are upset. It's not like all the time, oh, Miss Taylor-Crawford, we love you.
Right. It's like, wait a minute, what about my taxes? My sidewalks.
So what would you say are your 3 top priorities for the city of Lawrence?
Okay, so I'll tell you this for a lot of different reasons, and the phone calls that I'm receiving, meetings that I'm having, only solidifies what I was running on. One, people have to understand that their voices will be heard.
That's right.
And people have to understand the power that they have. So come to the council meetings, find out what's going on. Be proactive instead of reactive.
What days are the council?
So it depends on, sorry.
I just want our listeners, they need to know.
Well, you can find out the exact days if you go on the City of Lawrenceville's website, but I can tell you that on Wednesdays we have our business meetings.
Okay.
Not every Wednesday. It's once a month on a Wednesday, business meeting. Once a month on a Monday, we have our regular council meeting. And that is the time that the community can come out during the council meeting. We had one this Monday that just passed on the 22nd of August in order to have public comments during that time. So during the business meeting, it starts at 5. There's no public comments. But during the regular meetings, there are public comments. But if you can't physically come, you can watch it on Facebook. So with technology now,
there's no reason.
Exactly, but we would love for you to come physically, but if you can't, at least be in the know by watching the meeting. So that's really important. Also, another priority, making sure that people understand their rights when it comes to being a tenant. Many of the phone calls that I'm receiving, people are so upset. We do have some slumlords like we do in other cities, and that's something that needs to be addressed. But one of the concerns is that people don't even understand their rights, and they are signing a lease because they're sometimes under pressure in a crisis situation. They need to get out of whatever situation they're in order to move into a home, apartment, and because of that, they're not really understanding, know what you're signing. But even if you don't really have all that information, there are certain rights that you still have, whether you understand every detail of your lease, and as an attorney, you understand what I'm saying. There are certain rights that you have under Georgia law and under federal law, but a lot of people don't understand what their rights
are. Like if your landlord tries to make you responsible for all your repairs.
Exactly.
Right. But then there are places that they can go to get this information, though, right? Where should they go?
Right. There are nonprofit organizations. They can contact legal aid. They do not have money to have a private attorney. And unfortunately, many of the people who contact me, they don't have this extra money to hire an attorney to deal with the landlord-tenant issue. Another concern is affordable housing. Yes. People are being put out, and when they are put out, they have nowhere that's accessible in many cases for them to live, and they have to end up moving out of the city limits because they can sometimes out of Gwinnett County because they can't afford to live, and many of the hotels within Gwinnett County are being used as de facto housing. And as a school counselor, I see that all the time, and I saw that going back years, not recently, now in 2022. I saw
it's
that
been going on for at least 10 years.
At least, absolutely. And unfortunately, a blind eye was turned on that concern. So this is a result of that. So I really want to do my best to educate tenants. Also, letting them know that there is also a pathway to home ownership, because that's important too. So there's a lot of organizations that help with things like that too. But understanding how government works is really important too. So I'm very intentional during the council meetings, even though I might know the answer.
Yes.
I want it broken down so that the public can understand what's being said.
I have gone to Lawrenceville City Council meetings, and that's one thing I wanted to say is that you not only have your priorities, you know what you want to do, but you speak up and speak out. You actually fight for all of the city of Lawrenceville. And so if people need to go there so that they can learn and understand and ask questions. The website is available, Facebook and everything, but you really need to go into the city council meetings if you possibly can and have a conversation with you so you can understand what's going on.
Exactly.
And I mean, when you are on the diocese, you know, and you're able to ask those questions and break things down, because a lot of times we don't know what is, you know, turning the zoning when you, you know what I'm saying? Land use and all that stuff.
And these are the things that I'm still learning too. So there's a lot of reading involved because there's a lot of terminology, just like in the legal field. Military, you have certain terminology.
Legal.
And you know, we use all these abbreviations, acronyms. People are like, what's happening here? I don't understand that. And that's how people feel as though they're not engaged because now you're speaking a language that they're like, I don't know what this means. So I try to break it down as simple. Now, sometimes it might be a little annoying for other people.
You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for your taxpayer. You're doing it for the tax. They need a return on their investment, and that's what you're giving.
And that's exactly what I said when I was in the meeting. In less than a week ago in the paper mill community, expect a return on your investment. You have to. And the bottom line, as a council member, I work for the community.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I know when we were out canvassing, a lot of, several times in speaking with people, they would say, well, I don't vote because it doesn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
That breaks my heart.
It does.
Unfortunately, that's
it's like the chalkboard.
And so what we explain to people is, you know, if there's you should vote all the time for everything anyway. But where you definitely want to vote is on the local level. Because what happens on the local level impacts your life on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly.
What happens in Congress, what happens in the White House, that will impact you, but it takes longer to trickle down.
Right.
But on the city council level, if they're rezoning a spot of land that's up the street from you, that rezoning is going to impact your property value.
That's right. And your quality of life. And or your property. So I live in Snellville, and a ton of trees behind the side of the street that on the other side of the street where people live across from me, there are a bunch of trees behind their homes. They cut all those trees down and they build like less than 10 homes, right? Now we're experiencing storm
runoff,
water, right? And so you have to go and talk and speak and try to fight. Not everything you can stop. Right, because growth is coming. Development is good. I mean, the city of Lawrenceville is beautiful. You know, you guys are doing a great job. It's safe. It's clean. I was here last night, doing a meeting and everything and stuff. But we have to be smart about it, right? And you want to be informed as best you can. You know. So, what are some ways people can get in contact with you to learn more and ask questions?
So, before I tell you that information, I do want to emphasize that we have to ensure that young people are getting involved in understanding city government too. So I definitely encourage young people, high school students, even younger, to come to the council meetings or just email me, ask questions about what is happening and how they can get connected, maybe volunteering, internships, there's different ways. But I don't want anyone to think that this is just limited to a certain age group. I want to engage people of all ages. I'm also very passionate about our seniors. So one concern that I had, there was no information on the City of Lawrenceville's website regarding seniors. That's because we have a partnership, an agreement with Gwinnett County, and they provide all the senior services. So unless the average person is not going to know that and not really know that they live within the city limits, that these services are available. So it was really important to have that information, because when I was campaigning, I met people of all ages.
Yes. Yes.
All ages.
So 2 questions. With the senior programs, are those provided at the city park? Is that at the city park?
Yeah, the parks, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. The senior centers.
The senior centers.
Gwinnett County has a wealth of programs for seniors, but not all seniors are necessarily aware of it. And we just can't take for granted. I said, check the website, but not everyone is tech savvy.
Exactly.
Or don't have access.
Yes.
That's right. So I don't want to just defer everything to the website.
So the senior programs are at the city of Lawrenceville parks, or are they at Gwinnett County?
No, this is the parks of Gwinnett County
Okay.
County
Got it.
Parks.
Okay.
Right. So I just wanted to really talk about the importance of having people of all ages be involved, and there are different programs that we have through the city, different partnerships to ensure that we are engaging our young people to be involved in different levels.
And then, because I can't let these opportunities be missed, you did mention that there are internships with the city. Can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Impact 46 has a program that's called Summer of Impact, and students are selected. They have to actually apply for the positions, and they're actually paid positions within the city of Lawrenceville.
Paid is always nice.
The different departments or different businesses that partner, so that's a great opportunity.
What ages?
I believe that starts with age 16.
Okay, good.
But they can find out more, contact Impact 46.
Do they have to live within the city limits of Lawrenceville? Or
Well, most of the students, if they don't live within the city limits, they go to Central Gwinnett High School or Discovery High School, which are within the city limits.
Okay.
So someone might attend Discovery High School, but they don't necessarily live within the city limits.
Okay.
And of course, Central Gwinnett, most of the students who go to Central Gwinnett live in the city limits, but not necessarily Discovery, because it's a little further down.
It has some Duluth.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because it was students came from Berkmar, Meadow Creek, even Collins Hill, Brookwood, some from Central to form the Discovery Cluster.
But if they're either residents of Lawrenceville or they're attending Central Gwinnett or Discovery, they could apply for that.
Right. And I believe Maxwell High School as well, but I'm not too sure, but I know definitely Central and Discovery.
And all that's on the website that they can.
Yeah, Impact. So that's only during the summer, Impact, but that's a great opportunity, and that's really promoted in a great way so students can know what's going on. But I want to encourage students to definitely, when you're at school, speak with your counselor, find out about other opportunities, because of course it's limited, so it's not like, everyone who's applying can participate. But they can also reach out to local businesses, the hospital. They have certain ways that someone can apply, because the hospital, Northside Gwinnett, is within the city limits. Yeah, so and of course the college students can participate in a lot of different ways too.
So you've given us really
a lot of information. I was
these are good nuggets. These are good nuggets.
That's right.
But if
I'm trying to
community,
conversations with kids.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, because we're here to inform, empower, and inspire folks. We have to get folks engaged and get information so that they can do things that's right for them. Everybody has to make their own choice.
And thank you for the work that both of you are doing.
Thank you. Now, how do your constituents reach you?
They can certainly call me, and my number is 678-467-3244.
All right.
And email?
They can email me at, I actually have 2 email addresses, so I'll give both. One is Marlene Taylor-Crawford @gmail.com, and the other one is Marlene.Taylor-Crawford.
She's writing in cursive.
This one is long. @LawrencevilleGA.org.
And we will have both of those up when we post this episode. We'll have that information up.
Okay, yeah. So once again, the number is 678-467-3244.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. It's always a great time with you.
Yes. I'm ready to get into this roti.
Yeah.
Right.
Brown stew chicken, rice and peas. And just to let you know, I'm of Caribbean heritage.
That's
so
right. You don't say.
Yes.
That's why I also was thinking that you were maybe the first Caribbean too. To be
Yes.
right.
Yes. So my mom was born in Jamaica and my father in Cuba.
Okay.
And they met in Harlem, New York, where I was born in New York. Yes.
Wow.
So they came to this country in the 50s.
Okay.
So I definitely have a passion for working with immigrant families as well, and I would be remiss if I did not do that. Yes, definitely.
So now, were you born in Harlem?
I was born in Brooklyn.
Okay,
So they met in Harlem, in New York, and they lived there for years, and then they moved to Brooklyn, and that's where I was born.
You can hear a little bit of that too, right?
A little bit, definitely, the New York flavor.
Definitely hear the New York.
I wanted to ask you one last question before we go. You said you're very busy. I want to know, what is your go-to self-care? Because I believe in mental wellness, and I definitely believe we both do. We want to make sure that we empower people with some tips and tools.
Yeah, that's a very good question. And thanks to participating in the Gwinnett chat.
Dancing up.
Yes. I decided that I'm going to continue dancing. Stair Studios, I have to give them a shout out.
Yes, absolutely.
When I was young, I used to love to dance, and I did a lot of African dancing, but then I stopped as I got older. But it really made me realize I need to do this more often, and it's a part of my self-care. So I can't tell people, take care of yourself, and as a counselor, and I'm not,
an example.
practicing what I'm preaching, being an example.
Awesome.
And of course, keeping my faith in God.
That's right.
She's my church sister.
Yeah.
That's right.
But if you've been following along with Conversations with Karen and Kat, in our very first episode, we talked about the Gwinnett Chat dance.
Gwinnett Chat, Dancing Stars of Gwinnett.
Yeah.
And
we talked about Marlene Taylor-Crawford.
That's right.
And I came in third place. I was about to say second. No, but you did great.
I was so happy, so Shania. I felt like I won $1 million.
You guys did very well.
But most of all, it was for such an awesome cause. It was.
Absolutely. Gwinnett Chat Outreach is
and
doing
Ryan
such
Cox
great
is doing it
awesome.
And he partners, Gwinnett Chat partners with the Lawrenceville Police Department.
Yes, absolutely. Giveaway. That's right. And the Police Department. Absolutely.
And you're out there too, so doing a lot of outreach is so important to me.
That's right. That's right. So we want to
building partnerships with different organizations. Yes.
That's right.
There's so much to talk about. We
got to bring you back.
Definitely.
But I want people to know that I'm approachable.
That's right.
And I care about you. I hear you. I see you. I care about you. And please reach out to me, because I'm going to definitely do the work that you voted me in to do. I'm not going to compromise my integrity for anyone or anything. So thank you.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you. And with that,
thank you for joining Conversations with Karen and Kat,
where we are impacting the world one conversation at a time.